Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to build a fun little project using Python and Tkinter, a number guessing game. Here's how it works. The computer will secretly pick a random number between 1 to 100, and your job is to guess it. Each time you make a guess, the game will tell you whether your guess is too low, too high, or correct. This project is perfect if you are just getting started with Kinter because you will learn how to use labels, entry boxes, buttons, and also how to connect them with functions. But the end of this video, you will not only have a working game but also a better understanding of how Kinter works. So let's get started and start coding our number guessing game. So here I am starting by importing Kinter to create the GUI and the random module to generate the hidden number. Next, we will generate the secret number for the game. Here I am using this function to generate a random number between 1 and 100. Then we store this inside secret number variable. And this is what the player has to guess. Now that we have our number, let's create the main window for the game. So here I created the main window of the game and set the title to number guessing game. I also set the size to 400 by 250 pixels. This is where all the widgets like labels, entry boxes and buttons will be placed. The window is ready now. Let's create the function that will check the user's guess. This is the most important part. I used get function to read what the player typed in the box. We will create that entry box later. Since it always come as a text, I converted it into an integer. But if the player types non-numeric value or leaves it blank, that would cause an error. To avoid crashing, I wrapped it inside a try except block. If input is invalid, I updated the result label using config function with the text please enter a valid number, then exit with return. So now the question will arise that what is result label? It is a label widget we will create later in the code. At the start it's empty, but inside this function we use it to show message to the player. And the config method is used to update the properties of the widget. In our case, we are updating the text of result label dynamically whenever the user make a guess. Now that we have handled wrong input, let's move to comparing the guess with the secret number. So here is our comparison logic for checking the guess. If the guess is smaller than the secret number, it will show too low, try again. If the guess is greater, then it will show too high, try again. And if the guess is equal, then it will show congratulations. Now that our main function is ready, let's build the UI element one by one. This is the title label at the top of the window. It tells the player what the game is about. And we have used the pack function here. It places the widget on the window by stacking it vertically or horizontally. In our case, we use pad y as 10 to add vertical space above and below the label so it does not stick to other widgets. Now that we have the title, let's add the input box for the guess. We are creating this entry box now. This is the entry widget which works like a text box. Here, the player will type their guess. Again, notice the use of pack. This adds space around the entry box, making the layout cleaner. Now, we can type a guess. Let's add a button to check it. This is the check guess button. When clicked, it calls the check guess function we created earlier. Now, we need an output area to display the result. This is the result label I mentioned earlier. At first, the text is empty, but whenever the player clicks the button, we use config function to update it with the result. Finally, let's make sure the window keeps running. This line starts the Tkinter event loop, which keeps the window open and interactive until the user closes it. Now, here is one question for you. Try exploring the difference between Tkinter's pack and grid geometry manager. Which one do you think is better for this game layout? Tell me your answer in the comment section below. So now that we have written the complete code, let's go ahead and run it. So the window opens up, we can type our guess, click the check button and test whether the game is working fine. So you can see, if we type something wrong, it shows an error message, and if we guess too high or too low, it guides us until we finally guessed it correctly. Looks perfect. So here's a small task for you. Right now, when the player guesses correctly, the game just ends. I want you to modify the code so that after a correct guess, a new random number is generated automatically and the game continues without restarting. That's it for this project. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like the video and share your thoughts in the comment below. I will see you in the next video.